Hello there everyone, and welcome to a little bit of a belated video talking about Imperator Invictus. Yeah, this came out a couple of days ago, and I was unable to do a video until now, but I'm now doing it. Sorry for the delay. So of course, start off with the lovely Twitter account of Imperator Invictus mod. Again, there'll be a link in the description below. But I just wanted to point out that they do teasers as well, and sometimes they're kind of fun. So yeah, people can debate over their independence and wonder what that's all about. But anyway, there's a link to the Twitter. You should follow it. Anyway, let's moving on to the actual dev diary. Number 9. Generic independence missions, Judea missions, and some patch notes. So, salvete readers. Today we'll be talking about a generic tree for subjects, new content for Judea and Samaria, and the latest patch notes. But first, the Dev Clash will be held on the 18th of July on Sunday from 9 PM CEST till 1 AM CEST, which is now correct. Last week, got the time wrong by 2 hours, and I went and found people and hounded them about it, and yeah, we got it fixed. It's all good now. This is the correct time. It was also supposed to start last week, but there was as little sporting event of little note. Don't need to go over it, but it meant that we couldn't do it then. Don't need to talk about it. Let's move on. Yep, it doesn't hurt. It's coming home, but it doesn't hurt. Let's move on. Anyway, it will be held on the 18th of July. It will be, I don't know if he's going to be hosting, so to speak, but he will be doing the observing, which you do not need to be the host for. It depends. I'm sure it'll be fine if he hosts, but I don't know if his internet is good enough for that. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. But anyway, it's gonna be the observer mode on Vesp's Twitch account. I will be streaming my perspective as Rome. I know of some other people that will be taking part. I know Snowlet will be playing as Macedon, and I will be up against Dan is Stoned in Carthage. There's also a bunch of others. It's pretty packed. I think it's gonna be a good time. I think it's gonna be fun. But anyway, on to some content from Sea Lion Forever. This week, he'll be unveiling a new generic mission tree available for all subject nations. The tree gives the player tasks to help increase their autonomy and ultimately cast off their overlord. Should make starting out as a subject a lot more interesting, and our hope is, even when getting vassalized in multiplayer, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Only players will be able to use it. The AI should never take it. So if you have vassals, your vassals are not going to take it and annoy the crap out of you with it. There are 3 paths of gaining your freedom within the mission tree: an aggressive approach, a diplomatic approach, and a subterfuge approach, which will not be available initially, so still working on it. The aggressive approach will focus on preparing for war and ending with sending your overlord an ultimatum: either grant you independence or fight to keep you. The diplomatic approach will focus on improving relations with your overlord and gaining the favor of their ruler himself. You will then request for independence in a friendly manner and create a peaceful state of relations if granted. The sneaky approach will only become available if the overlord refuses the request from the diplomatic path. You can then focus on disrupting normal operations in the overlord's country, infiltrating their government, and undermining it from within. That sounds like quite a lot of fun, not gonna lie. I would like to work on that one. Unfortunately, it's not in Invictus just yet, but it will be eventually. The plans are there. So, the first task involves a lot of internal discussion to which approach should be taken. Each argument will have a main proponent in the form of a character in your nation. While this is progressing, you can influence the outcome via events that will pop up periodically. When the task is done, no matter which side won the debate, you can still pick either approach, but be warned, if you choose the path opposite of the consensus reached in the first task, it will cost you a hefty stamp hit. Also, the character whose approach you didn't choose might come back later to cause some problems. So, I think this is relatively similar sounding to is it the debate whether to become a republic or a monarchy when you're a federated tribe and trying to not be a tribe? I feel like it is that. I feel like it's very similar to that. But anyway, when you've selected the attempt revolt task, there's no more turning back. Your overlord will also be notified that you're going down this path. There are a bunch of optional events available to you when you start down this path. In order to advance, you must complete at least 3 before you can select the Making Final Preparations task and proceed to the end of the mission tree. I won't get into detail for every single one of them, but there are a couple I want to highlight. Securing support will have you contact the heads of family in your nation and try to guarantee their support for the foreseeable future. Greedy and entitled as they tend to be, they might ask for something in return. If you don't give them what they want, that character might become back to mess up your plans. Asking for favors, focus on gaining extra resources for your nation by asking favors from certain characters in your nation. The characters you demand something from will not forget this slight and could pose a problem in the future. So a lot of coming back to bite you in the future, I'm gathering from this. Seeking allies is relatively simple. It looks for nations of the same rank as your overlord, and you can ask them for their support in case of a war. And finally, we have the aggressive approach. Well, it's not exactly finally, because there's the sneaky approach. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We have the aggressive approach final tasks. When you start making final preparations task, the optionals will no longer be available. So you can no longer seek allies or build a navy or whatever. This is the time when those characters I've been hinting at could come in and potentially sabotage your efforts. As a general rule, the fewer characters you slight, the less complications you will have here. In these events, you can spend some political influence to avoid having your chances of bloodless independence decreased. Sending an ultimatum does what it says. It sends an ultimatum to your overlord. Grant independence to a subject player or declare war. The AI will base their decision on how many preparation tasks you've completed against their relative strength. The more prepared you are, the more likely it is they will grant you your independence. If they accept, you will become independent and gain a truce with your overlord. The overlord will also gain claims on all your territories. If they accept, as soon as the truce is up, they will murder you. Because, honestly, I can't think of any vassal-overlord relationships in the game right now that are close enough in power that wouldn't be an immediate murder. The closest I can think of, the very closest, is Cappadocia if they choose to go with Armenia. And if that happens, that's reasonably close. It's reasonably close. There's also Colchis. Is it Colchis? In the north of Anatolia. One of these, right? Is it? Maybe it's Sinop. Yeah, it's Sinop. Sinop has Kerasus and Kotiora as vassals. So, I mean, that's fairly close as well. But really, if Sinop was to lose their vassals, literally their best option would be then to murder them. And I don't see them having too much of an issue with that. I really don't. I mean, it's a player, right? It's a player, so you're probably going to be fine. But, yeah. Realistically, the Overlord, like, if they got claims on all your territories, they're probably going to take it. Like, even if I was the Overlord, in certain circumstances, I would rather have a vassal, say a client state specifically. I would rather have a client state ask for independence. I will take the truce and get claims on all their territories, instead of trying to integrate them. Because if I just set them free and then try and attack them, I don't have a claim. To get a claim is 20 political influence. That's, that's better spent elsewhere. So, yeah, I just think I'm reading way too much into this, because, I mean, you're the player, and you're probably not going to get attacked unless you've massively miscalculated. But, yeah, it's fine. If they decline, you'll start an independence war with them. Nations that pledge their support will be called in on your side. So now we have the diplomatic approach. So, the optional tasks. Moving to the other side of the tree here, when you have selected the attempt diplomacy task, which is right here, there is similarly no going back, and your overlord will be notified that you're going down the path. As in the other path, you'll need to finish at least 3 optional tasks before you can initiate the drafting the deal task and move on. So this is moving on. These are the optionals. Here are a few tasks I want to shed a little light on. Character exchange will let you choose a character from a pool of 4 volunteers to send over to your overlord as advisors and hostages. that character will move to the Overlord's country and be granted citizenship. Once this has happened, they might decide to send someone back as well. There's some good opinion boosts attached to this exchange. There is one case where if your overlord is a monarchy and certain conditions are met, instead of a character exchange, you can initiate a political marriage with even better opinion boosts. Political gifts work very similarly to asking for favors from the other path, only here you'll demand from characters in your government to send resources to your overlord. Each resource you send over will increase their opinion of you by a lot. However, again, each character you force into this position could hold it against you later. Okay. Alright, fair enough. I do like the idea of hostages being sent over, right? That is a very common occurrence. Very, very common occurrence in this period and later on as well. And I think there should be more in the base game about, oh, I've beaten you in a war, I'm going to, get hostage. I mean, the famous example of that more people will be aware of, is not historical at all. It's from fiction with A Song of Ice and Fire, or A Game of Thrones if you prefer. With Theon going to the Starks. Like that's basically what I'm looking for. Like that would be nice to have here. An example from here is Paris going to go to the Antigonid court for a while. Although maybe that wasn't exactly the same, but even so, it would be nice to have that in. Because it just makes sense, Drafting the deal works very similarly to the mirrored task in the other path. Slighted characters will pop up in completion events and cause some issues and potential setbacks. You can also pay some political influence to avoid decreasing your chances of gaining your independence. Sending a proposal sends the deal to your overlord to gain your freedom. If they accept, you will gain independence and start an alliance with your former overlord. If they're a great power, they will guarantee you instead. If they deny, you will remain their subject. However, the third path to independence becomes available. The sneaky approach. Ooh, very nice. The path focuses on undermining your overlord and causing major issues in their nation. I won't go into too much detail here because this part is still very much in development. Some of my ideas that are not implemented yet and are subject to possible change include mapping out the overlord's capital and giving it massive defensiveness debuffs, convincing or bribing good characters and have them moving to your own nation, and sending out bands of brigands to terrorize the overlord's countryside and sporadically bring home spoils. I like all of this. This is kind of cool. I hope this tree will provide some flavour and story while playing as a subject nation. While this tree focuses on gaining your independence, I will hint at a possible future dev diary where a different sort of tree for subjects might be looked at. But that's all from him for now. So, on to Stephen's production performance offering. Stephen's offering. He's going to present you the mission tree for Judea and Samaria. They both share the same one. Please bear in mind that the mission tree is still a work in progress, and some tasks may change, and more can be added or removed. The mission tree is based on the holy sites of Judaism that are scattered throughout the Middle East. Your task will be to reconquer them and build them up, reaching new heights. On the way there, you'll be able to take revenge against specific nations for deeds, like being enslaved from ages past, most notably on the Babylonians and the Egyptians, who never actually enslaved them. There's no evidence for it. Should I have even said that? Should I keep this? But yeah, no, I'm going to keep this in. Whatever. It didn't happen. There's no evidence, but whatever. Before moving into detail about the mission, I want to quickly discuss the Form Israel national decision. Also, yeah, they were taken to Babylon. That is accurate. And they were, was it Cyrus the Great who sent them back, or not sent them back, but allowed them to go back when he took over? Pretty sure that is true. But yeah, no, that one didn't happen. The Form Israel decision has been slightly reworked. I didn't even know the Form Israel was a thing. Like, it's not a thing in vanilla, is it? That seems... I don't think that's a thing. I really don't think that's a thing. Oh, well, it doesn't matter, really. I wonder if it's a thing in Invictus now. Is there a thing here? There is. Forming Israel. You need those three. I suppose I have, I don't have the ability to just console command everything. But yeah, Tier 2 formable. Judea changes name to Israel. You get 4 tribesman pops. Wowee. That is quite some... flavor text. I don't know if I'm all about that. I definitely don't know if I'll be about that. Whatever. Interesting. It's been slightly reworked with new flavor text. It's a bit weird. With the most notable change being the addition of a few more territories required to form it. Oh, really? Is there more than just that? Like Ekbatana, maybe. I don't see anything over there. Oh, go away, you. You need Ippus and Shechem, which are just... There's Ippus and Shechem, so... No, I mean, I guess this is not enabled yet. Mission tree consists of two different branches. One is the main large branch, and one is much smaller and entirely optional. The optional branch is geared towards the early game and focuses on reuniting with your neighbour, be it playing as Samaria or as Judea. It also allows you to join the Diadochi wars on either Ptolemy or Antigonus' side. Every aid comes with a price now. After the war between the two has ended, you'll be able to command the land around you, which has your culture as dominant, with a few more territories for better borders. That should kickstart you already. The last task in the small tree will allow you to search for an ally. What you do afterwards is up to you. I like that, because the culture here... I mean, what would you would imagine that you'd get? Just this province? Maybe this province? Maybe not this one. There's not a whole lot of Hebrews there, but... Yeah, you'd imagine that province would go with it. Yeah, maybe. A few extra provinces wouldn't hurt, you know. So, inciting rebellion in Canaan, uniting the realms later, uniting the realms now, Diadochi, Promised Land, search for friends, and there's some other stuff over here, into Canaan. Cool. The other bigger tree is the main tree. It has multiple branches which converge after a few tasks. On one side, you'll be tasked with building up a settlement and then consecrating it to one of the Jewish prophets. After that, you'll have to build up your capital city so you can keep up with the splendor of your nation. And the next branch guides through the conquests of Syria, Assyria, Mesopotamia, and ultimately culminates in the conquest of Ekbatana and Susa, where the holy sites of Esther and Daniel are located, respectively. Obviously, you're going to have to ruin Babylon to show these pesky Babylonians who can be forced from their homelands. Sure. Pretty sure it's Darius who was, like, friendly to the Jewish, and he allowed them to go back to Israel instead of keeping them in Mesopotamia. Pretty sure that's fact. It might not be Darius. It might be... No, not Darius. It's Cyrus. I'm pretty sure it's Cyrus. But I will have to look it up. Alright, I looked it up. It was Cyrus. It was Cyrus. The Babylonians took them... took the Jews hostage into Babylon. So correct, Babylonians were the bastards, and then Cyrus conquered the Medians and the Babylonians as Persia, and the Persian Cyrus let them be free. But yeah, no, this is fine. The Egyptian thing is still bullshit though. Anyway. The last branch requires you to conquer the Sinai Peninsula, where the holy site to Moses lies. After these conquests, you can expand into Arabia and meet the Queen of Saba again, although this is entirely up to you. The last few tasks concentrate on the holy sites themselves. The final reward includes, but is not limited to, a unique government type, a Tier 4, after restoring and reforging the Kingdom of David, which I prefer as a nation name to Israel, just because it kind of doesn't have the baggage, let's say, that the other one does, you know? Just saying, it's a little bit less baggage. One last thing we added is a unique heritage for Samaria, so there is an incentive to not only play as Judea for a Jewish playthrough. The conversion speed reduction they share with Judea, as we consider it the common denominator. Yeah, it makes sense. Keep in mind that negative 25% conversion speed is the vanilla Judean heritage as well, but Samarians will get a reduction to aggressive expansion and a boost to manpower coverage speed to reflect their martial inclination. I'm fine with this. That pop conversion speed, negative 25%, is completely irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. And it is irrelevant because I might need to speed the game on a little bit, because there's no current thingamabob. Let's just play a month. The reason it is so irrelevant is because the Jewish religion has this whole... Still no conversion going. The Jewish religion has 4 deified rulers, let's say. The prophets are deified rulers. And as deified rulers... Have we got any... We got some Phoenicians. Where are the Phoenicians? Right, there's one there. In Lod, there's no current conversion. That makes... Oh, God damn it. Do we have any conversion going on? Please, someone convert. Just so I can prove a point. God damn it. There is... Oh, shit. Here we go. Oh, has it been removed? I believe it's been removed. Now, that is rather irritating. So, what used to be the case was every deified ruler that you had increased the conversion rate by 15%, I want to say. I believe it was 15%. Which it basically meant that you got plus 60 from that, negative 25. So it was like a plus 35% conversion just for being Jewish. I think that's actually been removed. Yeah, there's only this pop conversion speed for Esther. But all of them should have it for being deified rulers. Huh. Well, that is interesting. Okay, so I've learned something. Okay, so... Fair enough. And then there's new heritages for Rome and Carthage. Rome gets lower morale of navies. They get manpower recovery speed and integration speed. To compare and contrast, Rome right now has the Roman heritage for... Oh, it's actually already been put in. Okay, vanilla then has levy size increase, which is kind of broken. It's kind of OP, not gonna lie. It's a bit overpowered. And then we have the Carthaginian heritage, which is export value, pop assimilation speed, and max mercenary armies. I think there was something to do with the navy. It's more than likely something to do with the navy for the Carthaginian heritage before. We've also added patch notes for the hotfix Just the Beginning, which was released at the same time as this dev diary. New technologies to certain bloodlines, such as if you have a Argead ruler, you get certain technologies to invent. Obviously can't show it here because I don't have a bloodline. But yeah, if you have... I think you're Argead. Yeah, if you have the blood of the Argeads, you will get a new inventions to take. Which is kind of cool. And I think there's some for others as well, but I don't know off the top of my head what there is. Macedonian mission trees have been fixed. Galatian invasion triggers have been changed. Slave revolts changed. Irish content not appearing. Yeah, okay, whatever. More things have been translated to Spanish. Button to give up claims mainly useful for making your puppets happy, which makes me very happy. This is something I asked for. Fix the health bar on characters appearing and displaying the exact health percentage, which is something that I had fixed in the base game. Consolidated mission traditions, coordinated better tooltips, fix unit abilities not being unlocked from military traditions, removed levy size modifier from heritages, Rome and Carthage. Oh, Carthage had them. Oh yeah, it had a negative, which is horribly damaging. Removed invisible scroll ideas from the console. AI plans potentially causing tribes not to expand. This is something that was asked about in my comment section. I can't remember who by, but yeah, it's fixed now. Fixed. It's great. Byzantine heritage. Negative 5% morale change to negative 3% slave output. Oh, that's fantastic, actually. Because everyone wants to play as Byzantium in some form or another. But no one wanted to after they added this heritage because it was garbage. Negative 10% morale is so detrimental. But yeah, lowering the slave output is totally fine. Yeah, no issue with that. I think maybe one of the bonuses should have been trade income, because let's be honest, you're going to be trading if you own that, you know? What else have we got? Change if triggers. So ifs to trigger code fucking, I don't know. Fixed prisoners giving you stab hits. Good, because that's annoying. Change Marian heritage so it collapses more. Ouch. Satraps no longer take Diplo slots. Good. And then we have a teaser for the next dev diary. I don't know who this is. Let's see. Copy the image address. Let's see if we can't... That doesn't help. The image address is not in there. Okay. So search Google for the image. We'll find out who this is. Possibly. It's This is Artifact, don't you know? Do you recognize him from any of these coins? I don't see him on there. No, the sizes for the image found. Well, we don't know. If you know who this is, fantastic. I don't. So yeah, no idea. But that's your teaser for the next week's Dev Diary. So, that's all I got to say, really. Go and enjoy some Imperator Invictus. It looks like the changes that I've just gone over have already been implemented, other than the Judea mission tree. Yeah, no, it's not there. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. I will be playing some Imperator Invictus multiplayer on Sunday at 8 p.m. British time, 10 p.m. my time, 9 p.m. if you're in Swedish time, Central Eastern Standard Time, Eastern I don't fucking know, time zones, garbage. But yeah, it's gonna be Sunday evening. And it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be playing as Rome, and I guess I'm gonna have to do some practice for it, because Rome's missions and Epirus's missions and Carthage, it's a whole deal. It's a whole thing. So we're gonna have to work on it. But anyway, I hope to see you then for the stream. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.